Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Trump regime. Engage in sanctionable conduct, get sanctioned, Trump regime. One of the most flagrant forms of sanctionable conduct right before our eyes. This amateurish, incompetent, corrupt, and despicable regime. They think they're being funny, violating court orders. Well, I think a federal judge and federal judges are about to make them pay. So one of the top spokespersons for the Department of Homeland Security is named Tricia McLaughlin. And Tricia McLaughlin made the following post in response to Benny Johnson defaming Abrego Garcia. Benny Johnson writes, MS-13 terrorist Kilmar Abrego Garcia was released by a rogue judge and is now making TikToks. The TikTok video in question is just Abrego Garcia listening to music. He's not talking about the case. He's just literally celebrating his right to exist and his freedom, but he's not mentioning the government at all. And he's being referred to as a terrorist. The judge is being defamed here. And then Tricia McLaughlin, who has a senior position in the Trump regime, says, so we at DHS Gov are under gag order by an activist judge, and Kilmar Abrego Garcia is making TikToks. American justice ceases to function when its arbiters silence law enforcement and give megaphones to those who oppose our legal system. So then she doubles down, reposts Benny Johnson's defamation, attacks the judge, acknowledges that there are some obligations that the Department of Justice has when it's prosecuting somebody for crimes, and then violates said obligations. I want to be clear, because in the Middle District of Tennessee, federal prosecution against Abrego Garcia by the Department of Justice, the only thing the judge previously said is that all of the normal local rules that apply to publicity before trial apply in this case. There's no special gag order in place in that case. But regardless, the DOJ is flagrantly violating those local rules. And the Trump regime is flagrantly violating those local rules, where you're prosecuting somebody in the criminal justice system where there is a presumption of innocence. You're not allowed to defame the individual publicly using social media accounts like this and then attack the judge. It just goes against the rules. If you wanted to talk about what's actually being charged, the charged conduct, the DOJ in the past has done press conferences and press releases that describe the charged conduct, and the prosecutors use very careful language. These are allegations. Everyone's presumed innocent until they are found guilty. But you stick to the charged conduct. Abrego's not charged with being a terrorist. He's not charged with MS-13 conduct, attacking the judge as a rogue judge, lying about what the judge is doing. It's just conduct that is not allowed in any prosecution forever. It has nothing to do with this case or this judge. It's just basic 101 DOJ manual, local rules, bar ethics rules, the law, you name it. So Abrego Garcia instantly goes into court and flags that post for the judge and says this confirms that the DOJ knows that they have obligations. They are violating those obligations. Let's just look at the act. Let's just look at what's on page 4 right here. The government asserts that extending the local criminal rule 2.01 to Greg Bavino, he's the head of Border Patrol, would raise grave constitutional concerns. In this, too, the government ignores that this court has already considered the government's First Amendment arguments with respect to statements made by the Secretary of Homeland Security and Attorney General, no less, before issuing its October 27th order. As the court has recognized, Local Criminal Rule 2.01 is consistent with the First Amendment because it restrains speech that may pose a clear and present danger to a fair trial by an unbiased jury. Then it goes on to talk about the Gentile v. State Bar of Nevada case. That's the main case on this area of First Amendment speech by litigants in criminal cases. State bar rule analogous to local rule 2.01 does not violate the First Amendment. The rule narrowly prohibits statements like those made by Mr. Bavino about Mr. Abrego's character reputation. And then it goes on to cite over here that on December 27, 2025, DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Tricia McLaughlin, shared a post on X stating what we all just saw right there. And then it goes on to say, neither Mr. Bavino's nor Ms. McLaughlin's statements protect the government. They defame Mr. Abrego. They defame this court and the federal district court for the District of Maryland as well. Now, you will all recall that in the Middle District of Tennessee, trial was supposed to take place in a few weeks. The judge canceled trial, has set an evidentiary hearing, and has said, look, Trump regime, there is already a showing made of vindictive prosecution by you against Abrego Garcia. By the way, the order by the judge, Judge Crenshaw, was recently unsealed. And what it shows is that the Trump DOJ and the top federal prosecutor in the Middle District of Tennessee, this guy McGuire, that they've been lying publicly by saying it was just McGuire's charging decision because there were all these emails that were kind of hidden in a 3,000 page document dump where McGuire is literally taking the orders from Maine Justice, and they're talking about coordinating the press release. Todd Blanche's deputies are telling McGuire, just wait for it. We want to review it. Like, we're a part of it. Like, listen to us. We'll tell you when to basically file, run everything by us. And so the judges said, look, you want to have Todd Blanche or Kristi Noem or Pam Bondi testify to rebut the presumption, have them show up, but we're canceling trial, evidentiary hearing here, and now there's a sanctions hearing as well. Let's bring in Harry Litman from Talking Feds YouTube, Talking Feds Substack, Talking Feds podcast. Harry, sorry for that, again, lengthy intro, but I wanted to make sure I set the stage with all of those facts because you're a former top federal prosecutor. You led a prosecutorial office in Pennsylvania. You were a top prosecutor at Maine Justice. You know, this is serious stuff that they're doing right here that in any normal administration, you don't behave like this. And it doesn't matter what Republican, Democrat, this is not how you behave, Harry.
It's not only not how you behave. If you behaved half this way, your phone would ring off the hook from the office of the Deputy Attorney General, the very ones who here, as you pointed out, seem to have been orchestrating the prosecution of Abrego Garcia the whole time, and you'd get a WTF and a possible, sanctions investigation by the Inspector General and the like. Anyone knows you can't try to dirty up a defendant this way, and you've been kind. Bavino's statements calling him a wife beater, calling him an MS-13 gang member, which of course they've been trying from the start. There are several rules, DOJ and state ethics, that bar it. Bavino's not even a lawyer, by the way, so their arguments that this sanction does apply because he's protected is just makes no sense. But it's beyond that. It's you would know it anyway to your bones. But here the judge Crenshaw said again, and there's now been 2 orders where he said you can't do this, and it really is now teed up for sanctions. And as you say, it seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot. They are having to go forward on January 28th. We've talked about this, and we'll see if they somehow turn tail, but they're going to have to try to say, and Crenshaw has found the presumption is against them, and nothing was vindictive. Everything was all kind of business as usual out of the office of the Middle District of Tennessee. What more flagrant evidence, was already, as you say, the unsealed memo has these pretty damn incendiary emails. But come on, a garden variety case in the Middle District of Tennessee doesn't have the whole brass, and the official spokesperson for DHS, by the way, which is even within the Trump administration, kind of outlier in their sort of cowboy culture. But it's what more do you need than to show this is all a big time political priority of the administration, and we're going to keep dirtying him up. That's the very narrative that led to the accusation, which looks pretty stronger and stronger, that the decision to bring him back after they were forced to by the U.S. Supreme Court, but unveil criminal charges against him. That came from the upper echelons of the administration, not the acting U.S. attorney in Tennessee. So that also just undermines their claim. It's so foolish on top of nasty. And there's a responsibility that comes with prosecuting defendants under the Constitution, under state ethics rules, under DOJ guidelines, and under common sense. What are you thinking calling a guy who you're trying to bring to trial a wife beater? That's obviously has the potential of polluting the jury pool, making it harder, and it's really just asking after Crenshaw, the judge already has ruled a couple times. It's just asking for sanctions. And here's the thing about sanctions, the judges don't want to give them, especially against the Trump administration. But when you keep pushing and pushing, there comes a time when a judge basically has to say, don't do it again, or I'm sanctioning you. And at that point, a judge can't back down. The whole credibility of the judiciary and that judge is then in play, and they're not asking for it; they're pleading for it. It's really so far beyond the pale.
You know what it reminds me of, Harry? When Donald Trump's criminal case, where he was found guilty on 34 felony counts, and Todd Blanche was his lawyer in that case, who's now the number 2 at the DOJ.
I was there. Yeah.
Right at Trump's criminal trial, Trump continued to violate the orders in place, continued social media posts. People forget this, but Trump was held in criminal contempt, like on multiple occasions. He was found for additional crimes in addition to the felonies. And that would have been a major factor in his sentencing had he not ultimately won the election, and the judge basically kept the criminal liability finding in place, but then didn't sentence him to anything as a result of the potential issues of how could you throw a sitting president into prison. But it was all this stuff follows the playbook. Like, they're unable to control their behavior, and these social media posts are so flagrant that when I saw that Trisha post, I said, honestly, if that was any other litigant or person, that's criminal contempt. You get thrown in jail. Like, boom. That's not even, the judge wouldn't even hesitate. Who wrote that? He send him in. The judge would order that person show up in 24 hours, evidentiary hearing. You'd have to give certain due process rights, if it's going to be criminal contempt. But that's not even a close call to me. Calling a person in a case like that a wife beater while you've been warned already? A terrorist?
Yeah. Well, look, that's so true. It's not even a close call. But what's striking is, look, there he was, a contemptuous criminal defendant. Don't talk anymore, Mr. Trump. And he gave the press conference on the court steps. Now they're the government. They're the people who have to give hard blows, but not foul blows. They have all this additional responsibility that judges have depended on them and given them special credibility and benefit of the doubt for. It's not just that contumacious, just nasty kind of vile third grade crap playbook, but as applied, they took the criminal defendant playbook and brought it right into the White House and the government and dirty up any judge who has ruled against them, totally vile epithets against a defendant. It's not how any litigant acts for sure, but man, oh man, it is so not how the Department of Justice, the government of the United States, acts with, and is totally leading to huge loss of credibility for this Department of Justice with judges across the country.
Harry Litman runs the Talking Feds YouTube channel. Just search Talking Feds, subscribe to his YouTube channel, subscribe to his podcast called Talking Feds, and subscribe to his Substack. Harry, thanks so much.
Hey, thank you, Ben. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
The Meidas Mighty.
Meidas Mighty New Year, everybody. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.